families. Um, it's been on my mind a lot since last spring about how to support families in order to support their kids with writing. Um, I hear from a lot of families that the writing aspect of what we're doing is one of the most challenging. So I've had in my mind, I've been formulating this plan to kind of create a presentation. And the reality is, if I wait until I have a lengthy presentation ready, it will never get done because this kind of teaching is taking up a lot of time in itself. So what I thought I would do is just a few times a week try and support you with some of the things that I've been thinking about. So first, what I'm realizing more and more this fall as compared to last spring, as we really try and support kids and their development as writers, that it's challenging. And the reason that I'm feeling really challenged is for me to support your child with writing, I need to not only see what they write, but I also need to see them in the act of writing because that helps me kind of understand where they are with this process of taking thoughts, turning them into oral language, and then translating that into print. And so I feel a bit handicapped in that regard. It's the same, I'm feeling the same in terms of supporting them as readers because to really know them as readers, I need to be able to watch them and see them in the act of reading text. So, that being said, we need to, and we will be moving more towards handwriting. It was convenient to start to get kids composing on keyboards, but these kids need to be writing by hand. And so we're definitely going to be moving towards that. I'm not even clear in my own mind if we'll be going completely through the writing process and having them publish on the computer or not. I feel like we've got to get our hands going. So that'll be a goal. Also, this week, I'm giving the kids a developmental spelling survey. So they'll do half of it today, half of it tomorrow. And if there's a few hard words left, we'll finish the rest after tomorrow. So that will also give me an idea of kind of who they are as a writer. Um, Uh, Gosh, yeah. So I'm just trying to think about, there was something else, a point I really wanted to make today. But what I did find, oh, I know, I wanted to tell you, I've been thinking about putting together a collection of writing samples to kind of give you an idea of what should I expect from my writer, like spelling, handwriting, punctuation. And that's a little tricky because it tends to range widely and depend on different things, but I am working on that. And that's the next thing I'm going to do. But I did find this interesting article. It's about six skills kids need for written expression. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'll include the link to it with this video. But it's really interesting, and I'll just go through things really quickly. So definitely kids who read a lot are better writers. It's just pretty obvious. And so I think that's for a lot of reasons, but this article mentions reading comprehension. And then they talk about the idea of transcription, which is when we're trying to take our spoken word, or if we've internalized it, and we're just trying to take what we're saying in our heads and transcribe that into print. There's a lot of challenges with that. And one is just motor control. So that's why we've got to get writing. The third one they mentioned is just sentence construction and just organizing what we want to say. So we've been working on writing complete sentences to answer questions. And we've also been working on organizing sentences into paragraphs. Genre and content knowledge. I am not exactly sure what they're trying to say in this article about that, although you should know that kids are expected to be able to write in three genres. They write narratives, they write opinion pieces or persuasive, and they write informational. And that's starting in kindergarten and all the way up through high school. So there's always those three genres. I think the content knowledge they're probably referring to in here is just that the more content knowledge we have related to the world and ideas, the more able it is for us to produce content. Planning, revising, and editing. We did a little work last week on this. I felt like it kind of overlooked what our main goals were, which is learning to organize paragraphs. But it is really important, and kids tend to be a bit resistant to engaging in this process. They just want to write. Maybe not unlike some of us, but they just want to write. But we will continue to encourage them and support them and kind of insist that they engage with the process. So they do some brainstorming and some planning in a graphic organizer. So that's kind of that pre-write. They write a draft, and that's when we're just getting ideas down and trying to convince kids, let go of spelling a little bit. Those kids that really don't like to write without spelling things correctly, let go of it and let's try and get our ideas down. Once we get a draft done, we go back and we try and revise, and we can do that very simply in third grade by simply substituting better words. We can look at whether we need to add some additional detail if our writing isn't clear. There's different ways that we can, and that's about meaning. So the revision process is about thinking about, does our writing make sense? What do we need to add? What could we take out? And then, of course, the editing is that final step where we're really looking closely at, do we have beginning capitals? Do we have end marks? And let's take a look at our spelling. And so it's a process. And then, of course, the final one, and we don't do this all the time with all written work, is to take it to a final draft. So that's definitely something we'll be working on. And I guess that is the 5 points they make. And I probably couldn't have summarized those any better. And I will continue to kind of address those things and continue to try and support you. So coming up next, some samples of what might be considered a typical range of student writing. So make sure you let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. See you later.